Let's talk about how to make the moments where you seize control of a PC suck less for your players. Hello everyone, and welcome back down here to the Gamer's Den with me, your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire, here to talk to you today with some more DM advice, today talking about how to leave players feeling good even after you've taken a moment to take control of their characters. There are so many ways to go about this, so many ways of attacking will saves, dominate monsters, sheer outright mental dominion, they pick up a cursed magic item that seizes control of them and forces the player to conform to their agenda, or just outright replacing them with a doppelganger or falling prey to possession from outsider entities. But while those moments are incredibly effective, can be really engaging and really throw unique and interesting challenges at the players, those moments can really suck for the player in question when you take control of their character, especially if you do all the work yourself. So we're going to talk about how to avoid doing that, and it's really a simple way of getting around the issue. But before we get into all of that, if you're new here to the channel, go on down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. Or if you've already gone on ahead and done that, then go on down there, hit the like button, and share the video far and wide. But now we'll talk about how to avoid making those moments where you attack a will save and the player falls prey to it suck a lot less. Because these moments, again, they are great tactical advantage, targeting a fighter or barbarian to turn the player character against the rest of the party. Hugely effective, massively effective. They now have to spend a lot of resources taking down one of their own, and at a point in time where they're effectively crippled as well too. So party of 4, you've now taken out 25% of their roughly 25% of their effectiveness. Wizards can do a lot, clerics can do a lot, so on and so forth. But point is, they're still now having to deal with a sudden turning of the tide, and that can really throw a wrench in the party's plans. So it's effective, it's a great tool for DMs to have and use, but playing on it a little bit too much, like anything else, can get old and repetitive fast. So while it is an effective tool and might make sense for certain contexts or stories that you throw out there, it's still worthwhile to use it sparingly and with a little bit of thought and care in mind, because stripping away player agency from their character can get old very fast and just feel downright abusive. Not only that, but then the players are really going to come up with effective countermeasures to get around it. So what's a great way for you as a DM, a storyteller, however you want to title yourself, what's a great way for you to get around that issue? Involve the player with it. If you have a moment where they roll the save, before you announce whether or not they failed, go, all right, I know this is a bad moment, but here, let's take a break. I gotta go hit the bathroom, I've gotta go take care of something, or I got this call, my wife's calling, girlfriend, husband, whoever, whoever your significant other may be. Just take a moment to come up with some reason to take a break, and then try to catch the player, talk to them off to the side, send them a text, do something to catch their attention, let them know, okay, you failed your will save. You have fallen prey to whatever shenanigans and machinations I've thrown your way. But we're not going to let the rest of the players know that. We're just going to keep going forwards, and I want you to play along. Now, depending on the situation, if it's a subtle situation where it's not obvious, like there's no immediate combat, no clear signs or immediate threat to alert the players that something screwy might be up, then this is a great opportunity for the player to roleplay along and find a prime, ripe opportunity for them to turn against the rest of the party. It's utterly devious, completely conniving, and it's great. And it feels like an inside thing that can really loop in a player who otherwise may have been a little bit recalcitrant, or maybe even getting a little bit bored with the situation at hand. They'll immediately be looped in because it's that feeling of having that little in-joke, that little secret just between the two of you, and getting ready to spring a surprise on someone. That can be all kinds of exciting and can really reinvigorate a player who might have otherwise been maybe spacing out just a little bit more. So not only is it a great way to re-engage somebody, this also keeps them in full agency of their character. Sure, you've taken a little bit of that. You're directing them, okay, you're going to be screwing over the party somehow. But this is still something where you're still leaving the action in their hands, playing their character how they would. Plus, it leaves the rest of the party completely in the dark. They have no clue or inkling as to what's going on. Now, while a good party of role players would still go along and roleplay with you, even if you were speaking as the character or for the character, there's still inevitably going to be a little bit of metagaming happening. It just happens. You can't help it. It's just going to happen to some degree or another. This way, though, you eliminate as much of the possibility of metagaming as possible, or at least limiting it to just one player who is in on what's going on, and is going to help facilitate the story moving forward. And even if you're mid-combat, I would still recommend taking a moment to just call for a break and then explain to the player exactly what happened, because, well, while it might break the flow of things, it's still worthwhile to let the player have some sort of agency over their character, whether it's possession, whether it's mental dominion by a wizard or some sort of psychic, or even if they get kidnapped and replaced by a doppelganger. Let them roleplay that out, whatever the case may be. Let them have their agency, their control over their character. When the surprise is revealed, sure, then, maybe you can eventually take control of that NPC back. But I would still, even then, even if you had a fight break out, let them keep control of that NPC, because otherwise, what are they going to be doing other than sitting there watching everything kind of happen and not being able to actively participate anymore? It's better to keep everybody looped in and rolling, so that way they're all engaged. Also, if you have a party who kind of likes to have a little bit of player versus player kind of activity, well, this is a good way of doing it without sacrificing a PC. So again, all the way around, a great opportunity for you to have some good, interesting roleplay and still be able to utilize one of the many tools that are in your toolkit. Absolutely worthwhile to take some time to think about and really allow players to engage and actively participate with this. But what do you think? Go on down to the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Did you like today's video? Did you dislike it? What are some ways that you've gotten around the issue of players failing a will save and having to have them act against the party's interests? Is there anything different that you do? Certainly go on down to the comments below, let me know your thoughts, and remember, if you're new here to the channel, go on down there, hit the subscribe button, and join that roster of legendary heroes here at the Gamers Den. But with all that said, I've been your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. Thank you all so very much for your time, and you all have yourselves a good night.